Hi guys, welcome once again to the Raj Kaul Podcast. And for those who are watching on YouTube, you're probably not wondering why has Raj got a mustache? Well, I'm doing November this month, so if you very kindly just head off to my Instagram link and Instagram page and just hit the a link on there and just sponsor us because it's for a good cause. It's for men's suicide rates, so we want to bring those down. So it's for a good cause anyway. Well, back to the podcast. I've got a very, very special guest. I've been a fan of this singer since probably since I was a kid, really. I think probably 12, not to say he's really old because he looks young as anything, but he's Sahara, Herbie Sahara. How you doing, bro?
Raj, I'm very good, mate. I'm very good. I'm all good, Riyadh. How are you guys?
I'm very good. Me and Ruby are good as well. We're doing well. We just enjoying the podcast, enjoying guests like you, and it's such a privilege having you on here.
Thank you for inviting me on. I know I've been super hectic for the last month or so, but Sardar Roji kam chalda koi na koi.
Yeah, I know. Because when I check, you're always touring in Pakistan or somewhere else, and
yeah, with God's grace, yeah, we've been in the game for a fair while now, and we're at a position where we have a huge following in South Asia and India, Pakistan, and Dubai, and so yeah, just all God's grace here.
Yeah, it's absolutely amazing. So, as you know, this podcast is about musical excellence, and I enjoy learning about music. I'm constantly learning instruments, music. So, but I want to sort of talk about, before we get into that side of it, talk about a bit about your background. And if I'm correct, did you start in the early 90s?
Yes. We started in the early 90s with an album called In Temptation. It came on the Roma Records label, and it was 93 to be exact.
Yeah.
And I think about 6 months before it came out, my voice had just broken.
I remember.
Very young.
I think I remember because I got told up. I used to go Punjabi school in the Gurdwara, and I shouldn't be doing this in the Gurdwara, Punjabi school, but I'd go there and I'd be singing your song.
All right.
Like, if I remember correctly, well, I can't remember what song it was, but it was about that time, and obviously you're going to get told off, aren't you? Doing
Of course, yeah.
So I got fond memories of that. Yeah, it's really good. So, how did you get into music from that side?
Okay, so Raj, basically, my parents are like first generation over here. So, like everybody's, most parents are.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm born and bred here. Me and my brothers, and apart from one brother who's older than me, he was born in India. But I was the first one out the whole family born over in England. And so, like I said, my parents very much Punjabi speaking in our house. My dad was into music, not literally not a musician or anything or a singer, but he liked poems and poetry and into good stuff. And so in our house, the Bollywood films, the Sunday jaake pehla gurdwara de fir jaake cinema jana, watching Bollywood film, yeah. And so it's been very, very in our house. The music's kind of always been around. And at the age of 3 or 4, I was singing like, ye dostati hum nahi. And so, my dad always pushed us. We joined. He took us to a Bhangra, Nachda Punjab in Bradford. We was born and bred in Bradford, and took us to rehearsals. A team of Bhangra dancers were dancing called Nachda Punjab. And we were the leaders of the junior team, me and my brother, Cully. And we became leaders of the Bhangra team junior. And then Gerps, the other brother, he joined as well. And we did that for a number of years. On the sideline, always every Asian party, mera Portugal, uncle nu gana suna. Like everybody, his mates would come round on a weekend, the bottle rakhniya table, uncle nu gana suna. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I used to hate it, but I used to say, "Oh God, Dad, please," you know what I mean?
What song did they used to ask you to sing?
Well, it was quite a few songs. It was like usually Mamla Gadbad Hai, you know, like well, the ones that hits at the time then.
Yeah.
And it was like Mamla Gadbad Hai. I've always been a huge fan of Alap.
Oh, great.
So
Amazing.
I've loved all of Alap songs. Like so like a lot of it sounds Kadena Billo Boli Haske or something like that, you know. And so yeah, so from then like singing at parties and stuff like that. And my dad, so we were one time we were rehearsing in the Bradford, it was Carmen Centre with Nachida Punjab, and we'd done our rehearsals, and there were a music band rehearsing in the next room, and I was 9 or 10 year old, right? And my dad took me, Gadajo. We went in and we watched this band rehearsing, and my dad says to them, "Mera munda vi गा लेंदा," right? And they said, "Really?" And hanji hanji, aja aja aja, aja put aja. So I sang a song, and they really liked it. And basically, cutting a long story short, I started performing with the band, and they took me as a novelty singer, like a 9, 10 year
Like,
old boy.
like a child star sort of thing, innit?
Yeah,
Hannah?
yeah, yeah. They
Yeah.
took me on, and you know, and most of the performance I'd be playing the bongos or the triangle, or not triangle, the tambourine
Yeah.
on the bongos or something. But then I was like a Punjabi singer, and I'd sing, uh, you know, a LARP song or Mamla Gadbad Hai or something, and it used to get a huge response. Bella like a 9 year old boy singing.
Yeah.
Also, Punjabi music had become very popular with you know with like a band like a LARP and a Hira and you know all that. So yeah, and that's how I started, and never looked back.
That's crazy. So how did you from there? So you're about 10, was it 10 was you?
Yeah, so I started at 10, and
So
then
so did you have
yeah,
any training at that time, or just was it just
no, not really. I was nurtured by the band. To be truthful with you,
yeah.
I wasn't 10, 11 year old. I was nurtured by the band. When I mean nurtured, literally, if I was singing out of sort, they would shout at me, and I would cry. I would literally cry there. You know, 10 year old boy would cry. But you know what? It's like Ustad Daje Hunde na Gidda.
Yeah.
And it's the best thing they did, because if couldn't sing in tune, they said one of the guys would really get angry. So you're not singing in tune, you're not singing in key, or singing in beat. Sing it properly, and he'd make me do it again. And I would like it used to, you know, like being shouted at in front of 7 or 8 men or guys. It used to, you know, I used to literally start crying. And but I got it. Well, I gave him a koi sikhiya nahi.
No,
But
but
I understood.
that's sick in itself, isn't it, Hannah?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
understood what
Yeah.
Tal and Sur was.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that I'm like 100% yet, but I kind of gathered a little bit about Tal and Sur.
Because that's what I find is that that's actually when you real singing is when you're performing live, because you can
Yeah,
learn all you want from behind the scenes. If you can't sing on stage live,
yeah. I mean,
yeah.
yeah, it's so from the age of 9, 10, I was, you know, whether there's a crowd of 50 people or 500 people, just to have the nerves to go there and sing is a great education on, you know, to learn. It's amazing. And that's where my confidence built from. And once you've got that, obviously it's important to learn the trade as well. But just to have the confidence, okay, you could be the best singer in the world, but if you haven't got the confidence to go on stage and sing in front of people, then Keith Hannah. It's like
Absolutely, yeah.
but so I luckily for me, with Babbe Di Kirpa, I got that experience from this band to go on stage and just sing in front of 300 people, 400 people. And yeah, so that's where my training, and that was at the age of 10, 11, something like that, yeah.
That's just amazing. I remember this one other kid I used to know. He used to do that. He was one of the Birmingham bands here, the Bhangra dancer bands, you know.
Right.
So he was like that. He was a great singer. So I used to sing Deep Monarch. He's brilliant.
Yes.
But anyway, so how did you from there? How did you get into? How did you form Sahara from there?
Okay, so I then, with the same band, I was from like the age of 10 to 15 or 16, I was playing on the keyboards with them. I was doing, I was producing the music for them, and I did some music and I was playing keyboards. I
So,
was singing.
so we got to go back now because you've just opened up a bombshell here.
Yeah, yeah.
So you're playing keys for them, you're producing music for them. So how did
Yeah.
you, before we even get into your Sahara, how did you get into that?
So at the age of 9, 10 years, my dad bought me a Badger, and I was then just learning how to play the keyboards and stuff like that. And okay, yeah, Yaro Beverly Hills, that tune. Dun, dun,
Beverly
dun,
Hills.
dun, dun.
Is that
Me, that Beverly
what?
Hills one. It goes dun 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 dun
Dun,
dun
dun,
dun
dun,
dun 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 dun
yeah,
dun.
that's
Dun.
the one. Yeah.
I just one day and from listening to I just started playing the keys and then from there I just kept practicing, and I became okay on the keyboard, and I would, and especially doing then I started doing also shabas in the Gurdwara as well.
Yeah.
So I could play the Badger, and I could, and then I started getting a bit more confidence. Started playing the Badger in the Gurdwara, doing shabads on a night, playing keyboards for this band, and I was learning. So it was and I had the fire. I had the fire to learn, and I was just, I was kind of mesmerized by the keyboard and then of course listen to all the UK bands and picking the tunes up and doing all that, and yeah, so I then for the same band started playing keyboards. I went onto the keyboards for them, and then like when I was singing, I was singing. When I was playing the keyboards for them, I started playing. So well like that at the same event. Some songs I'd be playing keyboards, sometimes I'd be singing. And at the age of 14, I kind of I did some. They were recording an album, and they were recording an album. I did some studio work. I played all the keys in them. There's some footage around as well on the internet of me playing keyboards at the Dome. It was like the Bhangra pop contest or what? Bhangra
Dome in
contest.
Birmingham.
Yeah, not Birmingham. Yeah, Dome in Birmingham.
On the Dome, yeah.
And there's a footage of me playing keyboards for this band, and I was like making the music up for them. We'd recorded some of the stuff where I played all the keyboards in it, and then we moved cities, and I kind of left the band at the age of 15. We moved from where we were, and I kind of found it hard to go and practice with them and this and that. So the album came out, they did what they had to do, and where I'm living now, I made a little kind of a band with me on the vocals, my brother Cully on the dole, tabla, Gertz was some backing vocalist, and then we had some members, and a few months later, a very good friend, a keyboard player called Suki Kayla from Scunthorpe joined, and then we had some session musicians joining in and doing the music, and yeah, we made a tight band. We made a tight band, and in 1991, we said, guys, we're all right. The music's really coming good. We're tight on stage. We had a guy called Chris. He was like a proper hippie type, but once he came with a bass, it all made sense with a live band. It just the whole band just became really tight.
It gels everything together, doesn't it?
It gelled. It's very important. For about a year, we done no bass, and it was just like, yeah, it's all good, but it's empty. The music's empty on stage. And when Chris came in with the bass, well, it was just a different game changer. It was, and we then started working on an album. We went to. I did a song, and we recorded it in the local Yorkshire studios, and we'd been all night and recorded it. And the next morning, I mean, at that time, it sounded really good, and we heard it the next day, and it was just pants. It sounded fantastic in the studio. Heard it next day, and it's just nice. It's not going to work this. And a few months later, I got in contact with a guy called Pete Ware.
Yeah, I know Pete Ware.
Pete Ware is a legend of the industry.
Yeah.
He's done all the Safari albums, and I thought, right, let's go to the Bhangra legend. Let's go to the guy who can make Bhangra music or engineer Bhangra music at least.
Yeah.
How much to have the tolki, how to bring the sounds up. So we in 91, 92, we went and recorded started recording this album called In Temptation. And the first song we recorded was Dil Mangdi. And it was a game changer for us, certainly, because we first time, wow, this sounds sick. This sounds like a band. We now sound like a band, even with the music and stuff like that.
So what was the difference between like what you did up north and what you did in Birmingham?
What it was, I don't think they kind of knew what Bhangra music was. Well, the level of how to bring the tolki out,
Yeah,
out,
yeah.
like the whole general feeling, like the guitar chords were more louder than that, and the vocals were just sitting on top of the like.
So was it the mix that was wrong?
I think it was a mix, and I think a lot of it was I think the mix was wrong, and and we were kind of relying too much on the engineer, I think. And it didn't sound great. So we knew it was a good song, but then when we took it to Pete, it was a different song. It was so good that it actually became the first track on the album, In Temptation, 93. And then from there, we just started basically, then we got Tubbsy involved. He did all the toll
Legend.
Yeah. Well, when you got people like Pete Ware on an album, Tubbsy, and wow, it's just a recipe for success.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Tubbs is an absolute legend. Yeah.
And when we recorded the whole album, fantastic. We loved it. Right, want that album called Leah, what should we do with it? Right, we need to release it. Right, let's go to Roma, let's go to Natural, let's go to a few labels. But we went to the first, and we didn't actually even shop around. We just went to Natural Record. Sorry, I beg your pardon. Roma Records, and God rest his soul, Pritbal. But he was there, and he gives it. They heard the song, and I remember Viv were there from Achana, but Envy, and they listened to the songs and they put it on and they give it. Done. We'll have it. Love the album. Hate the name because we were called Punchy. We were called Punchy, you know what I mean? And so they said, we love the album, but hate the name. Punchy's not going to work. Okay. So they said, rang us a few days ago, right, we're going to release this album, and you're going to be called Sahara. And we said, okay, fantastic. I was like 15, 16-year-old boy, excited about it, So yeah, all right, amazing. And that's been with us all the up to now. So big thank you to Roma Paji.
Hi guys, this is Raj Kaul. Thanks so much for listening to the podcast. If you want to support the rest of my music, if you could go and check me out on Spotify, on Apple Music, and add my songs to your playlist if you like them. Thank you. That's crazy. So how did you, when you were up north, what was the Bhangra scene like there? Because
non-existent.
Yeah,
it was non-existent. The gigs were happening. There's a club called Maestros, which was one of the best clubs in the whole country. So you used to get 4 bands, LARP.
Yeah.
Pardesi, or like
Hero and stuff. Yeah.
The old uni events.
Yeah.
And they were amazing. But there were no production. There were no like musicians. There was like, but they're all kind of the old school, like wasn't on that new wave length of music.
Yeah. They're like Vajja, sort of Vajja.
Yeah. Playing the Bajja on the keyboard. You know what I mean?
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah, and no guitar or bass or anything like that. No drums. And it was that kind of vibe.
Yeah.
In a pub on a night sometimes, what I mean?
Gotcha.
And so it wasn't it was kind of non-existent. But so we then when Suki came into the band, he was a good keyboard player. Cully, my brother, he was on the tabla for a bit, and then he went on the dole. And then we had a good drummer. We got a good drummer from Nottingham. we kind of put the whole band together. But so some members were from Manchester, some was from like Leeds, some was from like Scunthorpe, some was like from Nottingham. So, but we used to rehearse in and we got the sound going, and we got the platform of the sound. It's all about sound, and the best thing about it was what we performed on album, we could perform live.
Yeah.
That was a really, really big thing. You know, 90s, 93, 94. When we released In Temptation, it kind of it took us from a local band to a national band, and people really liked it. And then Untouchables, Tony, he put us on one of his gigs. So we had us, Safri, who else? The Apna Sangeet and Alap of one of the events in Manchester. And he said, right, I knew Tony as well from back in the days. He said, right, Herbie, this gig, you're going to open it up. I'm like, okay. And as it happens, that when we opened that gig up, we absolutely, smashed it. It was really, really great experience for us. Crowd loved it. Tony was well impressed. He said, wow, amazing that you really smashed it. And then after that, we were just playing most of his gigs. We just played all the Maestro gigs. We were opening up, and then we had the big bands and all. But at the same time, our music was gelling really good. Album had released. It was doing well nationally, and now not just in Bradford, we're playing up and down the countries at the university events. So we were now basically national, and the best, like I said, the best thing about it was we were a very tight band. Very tight band indeed.
How did you get the band? Cause like, was it Bradford you were based at that time?
Yeah.
So how did you get? Because you said like everyone's from Nottingham and Scunthorpe. How did you all get together and rehearse?
We used to rehearse in the middle, so like a place like Doncaster, where I live. I live in Doncaster. I used to live in Bradford, but we moved to Doncaster. So everybody should come to Doncaster to rehearse once or twice a month.
That's crazy.
And then but then once the album came out, we started getting a lot of inquiries and bookings and events, like at the big university. So we got the fire for it. We got the fire. We just absolutely loved performing live, and we were getting better and better and better every year.
And that's a lot of commitment, isn't it? Like all of you coming together, driving from all around the country, you know?
Yeah, bro. I'm telling you, it was hard. But like everybody used to drive to Doncaster, where I live. Well, I used to hire the van. Well, not me personally. We used to hire a van, drive, pick him up from there, do the gig, come back about 6, 7 o'clock in the morning, drop the van or whatever. And honestly, it wasn't about money. It was just about the love of it. And then you either go. Most of the lads used to go to work, or uni or wherever they used to go. And 6 बजे आना, 7-8 बजे चल जाना फिर काम पे जा किधर.
That's crazy, isn't it?
It was the love of the music, we just loved doing the whole driving.
Yeah, we interesting. We talked to because we're doing this other project called the UK Bhangra Museum, and we talked to Pajangi, you know? And
right, yeah.
he used to work for like full 12-hour shift, then come and do music.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
That lagane na.
I mean, to be true, the music never paid for anything. Like especially, it wasn't a financial gain where you could live off it.
No.
Like you used to get one gig a week, gig on a Saturday or a Sunday. You couldn't literally live off it, so you had to have either education or something or some kind of business or out, So, and I think most bands were like that. Most bands, I think few of the bands that was fully booked there, they didn't need to be working because they had to have a commitment. But most of the bands, we were like, we'll come back from work at 5, 6 o'clock or uni or whatever you are, and then go to an event and then come back about 5 o'clock in the morning and then go back to what you're doing. So yeah, it was like that for a number of years, because for me it started off as a hobby, and I always treated it as a hobby, and in the last 15 years is when it become a profession, and I with God's grace I can make a living out of it.
But you know the musically it showed those, you know, the era of that band's like 80s and 90s. Like
Yeah.
if you look at music now, I'm not saying that it's not good, but it sounds like, oh, I've heard that tabla beat before. I heard that Tolki bill before, but when it was your days like that, every band sounded unique, every beat sounded unique, every tabla beat sounded unique, every Tolki beat sounded unique.
Absolutely, because it was all freshly played for that track. You know,
Hmm.
obviously we use people like Tubbsy, Sunil Kalyan, Shinda, Buddy. They all played for them certain tracks. You know, every tirkat was for that track, not
Yeah.
a copy and pasted one. It was for them tracks. You know,
Yeah.
and yeah, it like you know the tuning of the tabla adda ਘੰਟਾ ਪਹਿਲੇ ਲੱਗਣਾ ਤਬਲੇ ਨੂੰ ਇਹ ਸੁਰ ਚ ਪਾਣਾ ਢੋਲਕੀ ਨੂੰ ਇਹ ਸੁਰ ਚ ਢੋਲ ਨੂੰ ਵੀ and everything was you know played in and it sounded like a band. So when we performed on stage, it was exactly the same music what was on played on the album.
Yeah.
And I think that come from a lot of the senior bands as well, where I used to mesmerized by a lot. Hira, you know, Pardesi, DCS, all because when they used to perform live, it just used to give you such an energy and such
Goosebumps at it.
yeah, goosebumps. Honestly, goosebumps.
Yeah.
And it used to go, wow, where are these guys getting these sound from? You know,
Yeah.
like swords. Wow, they were like just too thick on
They're
the
on another level when they saw us.
on a level, bro. And I'm from that I'm so glad I'm from that generation where I've
Yeah.
witnessed that. I saw that era, and we just like, you know what I mean? Look, I feel sorry for the generation now.
Yeah,
I don't think of bikini.
honestly, I totally agree. I don't want to take this podcast sort of too far away from you, but
What else?
the music, gosh, like Sahotis, DC, all the bands you said, Excellency, gosh,
Yeah, Excellency, of course. Yeah, Excellency.
yeah, when and yourselves,
I mean, there wasn't a bad band. Everybody was too good, you know, from Hira to Premi to Alarm to then the overs Pardesi, Achanak. How
Yeah.
good were Achanak?
Amazing, yeah.
And what you heard on cassette or CD, they'd sing it live exactly the same. I think, you know, I mean, it might be for another day, but where it all went wrong was from the live. It was when the DJs started becoming music producers. And that's where it all went a bit
Yeah, a bit pear-shaped, as they say.
pear-shaped. Yeah. When the DJs started becoming music producers, and then there'd be ghost producers coming in, and they'd use the same beats, and he'd use the same things, and he'd you know, and everything just started sounding same.
Yeah, and it's still like that to a certain extent now. It's just moved to Canada, isn't it? But it's still the same sounds.
I think what happened, to be truthful with you, Raj, I think people got bored of the UK sound.
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
Sounding same. They would get, I mean, Lember, Miss Pooja, they'd be on 20 people's albums.
Yeah,
and like,
so true.
And it'd be done by the same ghost producer that's done XYZ's album, and he's done XYZ's album, and there were nothing, you know, like it was just all the same.
Yeah, either be Cam Frantic or Suki Chan.
Well, yeah, well, exactly. All them. I mean, I'm not going to name which ghosts they know who they are, but
yeah,
we're just all sounding the same. And I think people just know the DJs were getting, and that's where the DJs started becoming, and the live band started coming down a little bit, and I think that was a great, because UK Bhangra was the biggest Bhangra outside of India or in the world.
Oh, we invented it really, because you had folk in Punjab, but Bhangra was invented here.
I mean, Allah gave a different kind of a sound to Bhangra. You couldn't even imagine. Before it was all a bit Tumbi and a bit Dolki and a bit, you know, like all the Garam Tande songs and all that, right?
Yeah.
But Allah give this music a drum beat and stuff like that, and you know, it was like amazing. But I think sadly where we are now, it's all gone to North America, and all these.
But even now, you listen to it, and I did this song. I was saying in one of my podcasts, I did a garage song, and the producer produced it. Great song, but few months later, I had the same sample in someone else's garage song. I thought, man. So, and then I realized you're just taking it off Splice. You have heard of Splice?
Yeah. It was
so you're just taking it off Splice. It's like a sample generator. And
I mean, SAG loops and all that, bro. There, all the bulky beats and all that. It was just, And I think that ruined Bhangra for the British, British lovers of bands. When I mean, when you, bro, I'm from an era where if a DCS album or a Laps album's coming out, and we used to know about it coming out, used to go to the shop, and you party agi DCS the album, ja Alap the album
Exactly,
agi.
yeah.
नहीं यार वो Friday आनी है अच्छा Friday आनी है okay no problem go back on Friday listen to it पहला काम था read all the inlay what's do what that right then listen to the album and wow used to be like fantastic.
Yeah,
I mean, some of
amazing,
the
mate.
stuff you listen to now though Raj, right, have you noticed, right, and some of the stuff that people are going crazy about now, well, there were bands that were doing that in the
Absolutely. Look, I'm going to be controversial here. I'm going to say, I'm not going to let you say it because I don't want people to come after you. Can come after me.
ਵੀਰੇ I have my heart on my sleeve ਮੈਂ ਕਹਿ ਦਿੰਦਾ ਯਾਰ ਭਾਈ ਕਿਸੇ ਨੂੰ ਚੰਗਾ ਲੱਗੇ ਬੰਦਾ
Truth is, right, all these artists are saying we've got here. The UK Bhangra bands were doing this in the 80s and 90s. They were on Generation Game. They were mainstream TV. Everywhere they were.
Yeah.
Know?
Some of the stuff on the early albums, I mean, just take Def Jam or something like that. Some of the stuff on that album was phenomenal. The beats, the music, even up now Dark and Dangerous by Bali Jackpal and stuff like that. Great stuff. Now we listen to some of the, hear some of the stuff. And I'm not being a hater. I respect where everybody's going and I respect every artist, what they're doing. And they've got literally just a beat and a bit of chords and a bit of bass line and that's it. They've gone out, And I'm thinking, you know what, mate? In the 80s and 90s music were better than this.
I like to call it McDonald's music.
Yeah.
It's fast food, isn't it? Huh?
But have you noticed though, right, Raj? Ajkal on a wedding, kere gaane chalde hai.
ਉਹੀ ਪੁਰਾਣੇ ਗਾਣੇ ਚੱਲਦੇ ਆ
ਢੋਲ ਜਗੀਰੋ ਦਾ and all that, innit?
Yeah, ਉਹੀ ਪੁਰਾਣੇ ਗਾਣੇ ਚੱਲੀ
None of these new, like
what they have to do, they have to speed the song up and put a
put
toll beat to it. Yeah.
Put a dolky beat in it, speed it up to get some kind of reaction.
Yeah.
And you play the old school song, any school, like the Lember's Bully or anything like that. That's the songs that kill it on the dance floor.
Yeah. It's crazy, bro. Anyway, let's get back to you. That's a rant over for now, innit? But it's all good. But okay, so after the first album you did, because I want to talk about, I want to get to the Undisputed album, but before we got that, let's bridge the gap between there because that's my favorite album of yours, the Undisputed album, and it wasn't. Well, we'll talk about that when we get there. Anyway, so what did you do after that? After the first album,
obviously, with the success of In Temptation. It was great. We'd become a national band where we were actually now doing weddings, but not just where we live or Safari Shah, like, my chacha's son's wedding or something like that. Yeah. We were actually being booked and we'd seen a bit of money coming as well. All right. Yeah. So you were getting, I think the £500 for a live band from them days was all right for us. It was like great. Full PA vi chuck ke leke jana van de vich and we did okay that year. We did good with In Temptation. And then Roma says, Pritpal Paji says to me, Herbie, very good, very good. Un tuji album kariye. So I said, okay, Paji. And he said, but I want you to do it with Taz, Stereo Nation, Johnny Z.
Yeah.
I said, okay. I got really excited. Johnny Z, you know what I mean? He was kind of with his
fusion.
Johnny Z.
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
Wow. Johnny Z, yeah. I thought, wow, Johnny Z, brilliant. So I recorded an album with Johnny Z in Planet Studios, and that released in 95, but that 94, I think, 94, the year after. But I think for what it was a great album, but I think it was ahead of its time. I think maybe using Johnny Z wasn't the right move for us. But we was asked to do it by Roma Records. So it had Sunil Kalyan smashed it with a tabla tolki, and I think it was ahead of its time because at that time Desi music was coming. So we released that, but it did well. We had some great Bolia in there. It had some great tracks in there, and it did okay for us. And plus Johnny Z had produced it, so that did well for us. But by this time, like I said, I keep emphasizing, we'd become a live band, so we were still doing the weddings up and down the country. after that, we had 2 or 3 years where we just gigging. 97, we recorded, it was 96, we started recording an album called Blueprint. And that was on the Natural Records album. That was produced by Cam. Some of the songs most of the production was done by ourselves and Suki Kayla. Because Suki Kayla was a keyboard player in the band, so it just made sense that he produces the album.
Yeah, makes sense.
Some of the tracks in there were done by Cam Frantic, some were done by Pete Ware, Shinda played tabla tolki on 2 or 3 of the tracks. That did well. That came on the Natural Records album. So that was around then. But again, we wasn't, we were still nationally doing events and gigs and medley and stuff like that. Then I released a track on an album called Mavericks, which were Tuppe. And this Tuppe, at the time, we didn't realize, but it really worked well for us. It was on a compilation album, but it really did well for us. And a lot of people started taking notice of that track. And do bol sunada.
Yes, suná deu.
Koothe te lajmaya, koothe te lajmaya, dil tenu yaad kare. Rova tu de pajmaya, rova tu de pajmaya. So we released that, and that song really did well for me. Really, really did well. It did that well. That other bands copied it. Later on.
The Surendra one was a bit after that, wasn't it?
Excellency copied. They just literally ripped the whole tune off. Puchamini, no, they just Gado, Shava Shava.
Yeah. I didn't know that. I didn't know they took it. You copied it straight.
Oh, bro, I'm like in my music room upstairs. I have a keyboard. It takes time to make tarja. The biggest thing is to make an arrangement. Vocal ta chalo, vocal da baad, which we are janda, right? You record it vocally sound. But the biggest thing for any song is the tarj. And if the tarj isn't right, then the song can't work. So the composition of the song needs to be made right. And for me, I took ages to compose. Everybody was doing tappe, but I said, no, I want to do tappe, but I want to do something different with these tappe. So this tappe was completely my composition, arrangement, everything. We recorded it. It did really well. And for me, it gives the band another kind of lease of life. And then we actually recorded it. I think it came out again by Natural Records on an album called Purely Natural 7. And then I got Manj from RDB, Manj Music from RDB. They were upcoming then in 1999 or 2000. They were upcoming. So RDB was on the club circuit. They were now gigging and they were becoming kind of a big name on the circuit. And Manj became a very good friend of mine. And he said, Baji, I said, listen, they all love this track, Tappe. And he said, let me remix it. So he remixed it, gave it to Natural Records. They put it on an album, Purely Natural. So he remixed it into like a garage beat. And garage was just taking off then as well. And so then other songs like, other garage tracks were coming out as well. And because of the success of that track, me and Manch started working on another track on the success of this Maverick Tappe. And that track was Sohniye Ni Sohniye Jawani Teri Rangli. Sohniye Ni Sohniye Jawani Teri Rangli. Holi Holi Nach Ke Vakha. So Manj did that track, and he and believe me, so I went to Manj and said, Manj, you've done an amazing job on that Tappe. Can you do this track? And he said, Buddy, I love it, but I don't know the chords or keyboards. मैं कहा कोई ना पोता आजा मैं तेनू सिखांदा. And if you ever talk to Manj and you said to him, Manj, who taught you the keyboards? He'll tell you that Herbie Paddy, he taught me the 3 vital chords and I made 20,000 songs out of them. So I taught him the 3 or 4 vital chords. I made chords for the song. This is the song. Let's make it into a garage track. And he came back with although was all a bit naughty. Everybody in the industry was a bit naughty. They used samples from
Yeah.
the original songs as well. You know what I mean? Like so.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah. Like hip
Yeah,
hop, the more influence, yeah, hip hop.
it was all. It
Hip
was
hop
on.
going
It was
in it.
okay then. It was okay.
Yeah.
It became an issue afterwards, but at that time it was all right. You know, everybody.
Yeah.
So he
All the
then.
hip hop people did it, didn't they? So the hip hop people were ripping off old songs, like blues and pop and rock. So they take the sample from there. Then we'd take the sample of them.
I think it all went a bit pear-shaped when Bobby Larry or somebody sung one of the hip hop artists use it. And,
Yeah. Was
India
it
Bollywood trying to
Kalio
sue
Ka Jaman? Kalio Ka
Yeah.
What was he gonna?
And India came up and said, "Look, we're gonna do this, do that."
Yeah.
And then it became a bit right. Okay, what about the hundreds of Indian Punjabi songs that have been going around
Exactly, yeah.
for so long with English beats on it and the hip hop beats on it?
Hi guys, this is Raj Kaul. Thanks so much for listening to the podcast. If you want to support the rest of my music, if you could go and check me out on Spotify, on Apple Music, and add my songs to your playlists if you like them. Thank you. याद तेरी जद आउंदी सोहणीए सां साडे रुक जांदे ने
But anyway, we did Sohniye Ni Sohniye, showed it to Natural Ninder, and he absolutely loved it. He said, "This is going to be something else."
That
And
song's
then,
an anthem today, bro. Honestly,
yeah.
that song, you can still
I
put
get
that
asked
on.
to sing it every wedding we do, every album, every event we do. We have to sing it. Sometimes twice, sometimes 3 times. And you know, a lot of people say, "Paddy, you well, that's not your tune. You stole it off Shakti."
Mm-hmm.
Gora gora rang tere kale kale. I said, I'll be truthful with you. I didn't. I did. I was inspired by it, but the track I was inspired by was a guy called K.S. Kunnar, right? And the song was Uchi Uchi Pipali Javani Teri Rangli. That's the song I took it off, not Shakti.
Yeah.
But I took it off K.S. Kunnar. Anyway, quite a long story short, they're also great tracks in that album, produced by Cam Frantic, produced by Suki Kela, and Manj produced a couple of tracks. But the rest of the tracks were great tracks, but Sohniye Ni Sohniye just stole the show.
Mm-hmm.
That just nobody went beyond that track.
Mm-hmm.
And then that took us to another level, Raj. That then took us not just to UK, but I'd seen, obviously success didn't get to my head like that because I'd seen the struggles as well.
Mm-hmm.
And when you've seen struggles from day one of the last 10, 15 years, so when your song is being played on every radio station, being played in Green Street, Southall, Broadway, Leeds, all the main, and the guys are pumping your song like Sohniye Ni Sohniye, left, right, and centre in the cars, and you're hearing it. I mean, I'm just in London walking, and every 5 minutes Sohniye Ni Sohniye is playing in the car, and people saying to me, "How do you feel?" Well, I said, "You know, I feel I'm really grateful to the Almighty, but it you know, it's just."
It's surreal, isn't it?
It is surreal, but it didn't, you know, like kei bandiya de sir te chad jandi gal, you know what I mean? They think, "Oh, mere varga hai hi koi banda dekh la, I'm the it wasn't like that at all. It wasn't like that at all. I was still very, very grateful.
But you can tell by the conversation we're having, bro, huh? Pada lagda ke bande da, you know, it's still humbleness in there, you know.
But so the song were being played left, right, and center. A radio station ਖੇਡਣ ਲੱਗ ਪਏ ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਨੇ ਕਦੀ ਮੂੰਹ ਨਹੀਂ ਲਾਇਆ ਸੀ ਉਹ ਵੀ ਖੇਡਣ ਲੱਗ ਪਏ ਭਾਜੀ can you do this interview anyway Sohniye Ni Sohniye became and there were, I'll tell you the competition, well I wouldn't say competition, but I'd say it was there, you know, there were great tracks. Was Dol Jagiro that came the same year. Halpio Eshkaro came the same year. Gosh. And they all came at the same time.
Gosh.
But what our track was, ours one, because it wasn't desi, it was a bit more
a bit funky, innit? A bit more funky.
Well, it attracted all the whether you were Bangladeshi, Gujarati, Punjabi, you were loving that track, and it started the garage kind of scene off as well. So it's everybody were listening. You didn't have to be Punjabi to enjoy that track.
It
became like that, and after about 6 months, we started getting international calls to Kenya, Pakistan, and I'm wondering, yeah, how are we getting? Nobody's distributing this album over there. So how's it going out there? And realized afterwards, obviously, piracy. For us, piracy was a godsend.
A
For the rest,
blessing.
it was
Yeah, yeah,
disaster. But for us, it was amazing because now our music is being played in places we've never heard of, like
yeah.
Malaysia, Kenya, Pakistan, and then Sohniye is big because it started a new kind of genre of music off in Pakistan where the kids have learnt what a bass bin is the back of the car. They're pumping the song, they're driving around. It's just started a whole new genre of music of Bhangra. For they've kind of taken on this. This is the Bhangra we love, and yeah, I remember going to Kenya the first time, and there were big posters everywhere of us, me, Kulli, Gertz, and performing first time at Carnival in Kenya. We went to there's like in Nairobi, there's like a diamond bazaar, I think they call it. It's like a very desi kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Bro, it had, please do not ask for any Sahara albums sold out. They had signs in all the shops. There were no albums
That's
left right
crazy.
at the call areas. There was no albums to buy, and wow, that hit me then more. I thought, wow, first and foremost, I've gone and done an international gig, but I've seen posters all over Nairobi of us, me and my brothers. Then we've gone into the shops, no Sahara albums left. Please do not ask. So, you know,
ਭਰਾ ਸਾਡਾ international ਹੋ ਗਿਆ international.
oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And I think the same year we went to, I think as a whole team, we went to, no, that was a couple of years later. Anyway, so the success of Access All Areas really, really now started taking us international events as well. And then I also featured on RDB had just released their album, the debut album, which was another phenomenal album.
Yeah,
I've become really, really close with Manj and the boys.
We'll talk about that in a second when we get to the other bits, because I want to talk about just.
I'm like a record, and I'm a bully on that.
No, it's great content, because all this is going to go viral on social media. I'm going to tag you in, and it's all going to go viral. Your clips are. So I want to ask you. So during this time, was your riyaz at that time, was it still just on the go as you're singing, you're practicing, or did you take anything else on technically?
So before all this, I when I said I started singing Shabad at the Gurdwara and stuff like that. Yeah. Well, I'd learned off a raggi. Well, when I say learn, I learned how to play a bajja, how to use the fingers, how to sare gama pada nisa. Obviously, so I started, all that. Started singing in Gurdwaras. After In Temptation and Let Loose, I went to India for about 8 months.
Wow.
And I became a shagird of back in the days in India. There was a Doordarshan television, and there was a music producer there called Pandit Chote Lal, and he was from Delhi, and my family come from Delhi as well. And we have a neighbor. He said, "Yaar, oh hage Pandit Chote Lal, ona ko leke janda nu thoda ja, music da." So first thing Pandit Lalji said to me, he said, "Bete, why do you want to learn music? Is it for the money, or is it for the love of the music? Do you want to become big and famous, or do you want to just music?" I said, music, just music. I'm not want to become famous or anything. I just want music. I just want to learn how to sing. And he said, "That's all I wanted to hear." Tied the tagga. We did all the, the pag and the shirt and all that. We did I became a shagird. So I, for 8 months, was like learning all the sare gama padanis, all the sargams and all this and that. And then when I came back to England, I was still learning off them, but it was become hard because, you need to be there and direct. But I still learned. He'd send me stuff over, and I've been, by them days, there was no emails or anything. It was by post.
Wow.
And, there was nothing. And I'd ring him on the phone, and, hanky sikya, or Dad would be shouting at me the back of Baskar. They've been a phone bill by and that Baskar. I wish this technology was back then.
Yeah.
You know,
Because my
and
singing teacher's based in India now.
Andy,
My
yeah,
my,
you
my
can.
vocal teacher's based in, and we do it over Zoom.
And over Zoom, you can
Yeah.
learn. I wish this
Yeah.
technology now
Exactly.
was
Yeah.
back then. And then, yeah, so I learned like that. I mean, when I say I learned, I didn't learn. I shouldn't say that. I mean, I tried to learn.
Mm.
And what happened was, yeah, so we did that for about 3, 4 years. But at the same time, I was recording albums and doing this and that. And now, sadly, God rest his soul, he's passed away. And yeah, but I never kind of, I become so busy in the music as well. I
Mm.
mean, I do local riyaz, sitting at home, Sarigama, all that. I do my riyaz for myself or learning songs, but I haven't got a ustad as of now or
Yeah, of
anything.
course. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. So when you were doing riyaz, what was it? Was it classical, light classical, or was it just this sargams?
sargams, it was mostly sargams just to get the hit, the rakes and all
The
the
gamak meaned,
it was just like the whole portions of riyaz and doing this,
yeah.
that. And that's what it was. And to be truthful with you, I think a lot of the time it got spoiled because we were singing on stage as well, you see. So like there's no riyaz in local wedding and all. When you do weddings and you sing
No, but it is because you know what that brings. When you're doing your pulte, that
yeah,
actually builds your muscle
build your muscle.
in your
That's what
vocal.
you're doing, yeah. So
You know?
we were doing gigs, we were doing weddings like for 2.5 hours singing on stage,
Hmm.
and we was doing that and we was, gave me a better knowledge of how to sing in beat or how could that sort of Atea at Togana, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I had the complete knowledge. Not so great on like sargams or not like rags or anything like that. I'll
Yeah.
be truthful with you, not
Mm.
like that. But yeah, just and it's pretty much stayed like that. And I think that was effective because of A, they passed away, and B, we were in different time zones,
Yeah.
countries, technology wasn't
Well,
there.
I'm going to disagree with you in a second, because let's go to the Undisputed album. You did a song with in there, Maya. Tere pyar dil.
Hanji,
That you
hanji.
sang so well on there, bro.
Thank you, thank you, thank
Honestly,
you.
so that song was my favorite from that album.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. See that track, it's not because I learned music or anything. It's just I had the experience of
Yeah,
what I wanted to hear, what I've
yeah,
think, So time gives you good experience.
yeah.
And with that, I'd been singing quite a while now,
Yeah.
and I knew
But
that.
it had that like classical touch to it, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah, yeah, yeah. It did, and that's what we wanted to give.
Yeah.
That time, there were all kinds of, garage and hip hop and all this music, and I just wanted to give. You know what? Let's just because it was 12 track album. Right?
Mm,
Every song can't sound the same. So let's put us all. I got involved. I said to Tony, by the time now this album had become with Tony Untouchables, and I said to Tony, I want a Kawali band. She said, what do you mean? I said, I want to give this song a really Kawali touch, where I want the whole band there clapping, singing, and I want to sing it like that. And he goes, yeah, okay. So back at the time then, there was so Hale Salamat and their team, they were touring England. So 4 or 5 of them brothers came to the studio. I had composed a song and they absolutely loved it. They give it, wow, kya cheez hai kamal, like a pat. All we have to do is a pat on the back, bro. It does us wonders.
yeah.
Re-energizes us. And they love the melody of it.
Yeah.
And they give me this share in front. They said, "Eh pana eh, मान न करिए हुस्न गने दा." And they said, let's sing this. I said, fantastic. So then, तेरे प्यार दिलो माया, that was all made by, the whole composition was made by me. The whole arrangements were made by me. Even the bajai in the song. And then we got Dev Rajasal on it. The song was written by Sarbjeet Sidhu, who's a great, great guy. I think he's a singer now as well in the Midlands. Yeah, and that was a great track. But the problem, what happened on that album, every song was overshadowed by Lal Ghagra.
Yeah. That wasn't my favorite song, bro. On the
Do you know what? It was just one of them things.
yeah.
Nobody went past the first track.
Because that song's still going, isn't it? Like even
Oh,
today.
bro, I've played for dignitaries. I played around the world. I was once booked.
Born नहीं हुआ था वो एक
Huh?
कोई गाना गा के मुझे
यार
बोर नहीं
किन्ना
हुआ था
यार बोर दा किन्ना गाना एक I did one wedding, right? मैं ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ story ਦੱਸਦਾ. Right, so we got this invite. It was a Thursday. It was a Thursday. Get a phone call, right? And get, Hanji, Badi, Sahara, Hanji. There's a team that we got an event for you. I said, oh, okay. Where? Pakistan. Okay, oh, wow. A bit, okay, get it date. It's Thursday today, not tomorrow, day after you fly. And the wedding's on Sunday. Like, are you joking? Are you taking the mick? Like, they go, no. I said, but you haven't got, we need stuff like visas. We need tickets. We need, but everything will be done. All right, a bit strange. So this is now Friday now, right? And nothing heard. They ring me on Friday, right? Tomorrow, Saturday, yeah, I'm only outside the embassy in Bradford, Pakistani embassy, and bring your passports, you and your fellow friends. I said, are you having me on Mecca? Which embassy is open on a Saturday? The Pakistan, I know, the Monday to Friday, no, they give it, you leave that to us. Got there, get my passports. The man went inside, put the visas on, bottom back to me. He said, hello, all done with 30 minutes. I'm just sat in the car. I'm just.
Is that in Hockley?
Sorry?
Is
No,
that in
they
Hockley?
put in Bradford.
Actually,
Because
Bradford is
I live in York City, so Bradford
yeah.
was the closest one for me.
Okay.
And I went, wow. Next day we caught a flight. Got off this flight, I got about 6 or 7 army guys saying, buddy, give us your passports. Right. Now the 3 people with me, I know we got, oh, wow, what's going on? As we come escorted off, sat in a car, sat in a VIP lounge. Our next flight was about 2 hours later, but they put us on a flight before. We went to Lahore and we found out that it was the Prime Minister of Pakistan's son's wedding.
My gosh.
Right, so we had all this 5-star everything, all this security, all this patrol, cars, police could be up a chair and that's where we got kind of a bit scared of what we did.
Of course you would.
Yeah, and we were like, kind of, yeah, passport, can take your passport, you here. Don't worry, your passports are here. Anyway, we got to, all this hotel and everything, found out it was a Pakistan's prime minister. His son or daughter was a big fan of ours, right? And they loved the song Lal Ghagra, and they just wanted that band. So we went there, and Raj, honestly, Lal Ghagra was sung 6 times that day. I promise you, I won't karke fair do my overset. Then fair on the 4th time, I thought, you know what I mean? I'm not messing about with the Prime Minister, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah. Lal Ghagra, he can hear it as many times as he wants.
That's crazy.
Down, please.
Oh, that's crazy. So, so I'm gonna. Have you got a bit more to say about that story? Because otherwise, I'm gonna go back to Undisputed.
No, that's it, and that's it. And so I'm just saying that we started from we were on Lal Ghagra, and that song took us to crazy places all over the world.
I remember this video with you and one of the RDB guys. He's playing keys, and you're singing "Pyar."
With Kully.
Yeah, with Kully. Yeah.
Like the Kully TV, RDB TV.
Yeah, it was on there. Yes.
Yeah. But Kully came to my house, and what Kully was doing, God rest his soul, what a great guy.
Yeah. Amazing, yeah.
He was the brains behind the whole outfit. He was really super talented. He came to my house, and we did it was on live. Yeah, and I played keyboard, and we did a bit of songs live and all that. Yeah. But that was from the CPR was a track from Undisputed as well.
Yeah.
Which there was loads of tracks in Undisputed. There was a track the Maya. There was a track. Oh, Nachda London Sara.
Yeah, another great song. That was a great album, bro. Honestly, hats off. That was a great album.
Yeah, then there was a Kuali, and there was PR. There were loads of tracks on the album, like I said, but then that Lal Ghagra both naughty Ghana.
Yeah. Bro, we've done 55 minutes.
कोई ना वीरे.
Isn't it? Crazy, isn't it? So how did Undisputed come together? The whole album?
After we'd recorded which good album Access All Areas.
Mm-hmm.
We saw the success of the album, and that went crazy. That went crazy in England, worldwide.
Yeah.
And I remember, I even, where is it? Yeah, Natural Records give us for your outstanding sales worldwide of the album. It did like 40,000 sales,
Crazy.
right? And on Natural Records. And then, cutting a long story short, we thought, right, that's it. We're into the money and this and that. And but it didn't work out with Natural Records. It didn't work out. And so that's another story. So it didn't work out. And we said, okay, we're leaving. So we were left Natural Records, and I went with Tony. But what it was with Untouchables, they was really up and coming, and they had the crew, they had the team. I was so close with them anyway. So I was like their team, but on a different label. Right, so I mean, I did a lot of tracks
because they were up north, weren't they?
Yeah. Even Manjas even said it. Even some of the tracks was a lot of songs were composed. I did a lot of composition for them. Aja Mahi, the chorus was partly written by me as well. Aja Mahi, Aja, Manj actually said
there you
that.
go, guys. You got it on record.
yeah, got it on record. And there's lots of stuff I've done behind the scenes what people don't even know. Some lyrics I've written or the keyboards or something like that. So then Tony said, look, bro, I want this track, Lal Ghagra. I'm not bothered what you do, how you do, where you do it. I want this track. I'm going to release that track. I'm not bothered. So then we left Natural Records and we came on to we had a bit of a disagreement with Natural Records, to be truthful. And so we came with Tony. Bear in mind, we signed contracts when we didn't know what contracts were.
Exactly.
Bro.
Yeah,
yeah, we just did it. Yeah, oh, bloody hell. Yeah. Natural Records signed.
Yeah.
We didn't realize what we were signing. You know what I mean? We couldn't afford music lawyers then. We just sign anything and so we just signed it and whatever, hope for the best. But when it really dawned on us, when the success of the album, and then we realized what a signature can do and what it means.
Yeah.
We realized about PRS, we realized about publishing, we realized all these little things. Wow. Every chija not just being the album paid for and all that. And then I went with we recorded all the tracks for Undisputed and released it on Tony's label, Untouchables, and it was produced by Untouchable Music by Cully from RDB, but he was then working for Tony.
Yeah,
he was working for Tony as a music producer for the company. And then that just kind of, for 10 years, Raj, I didn't need to release anything else because the success of Lal Ghagra was just year by year, just growing and taking us to Thailand, Malaysia, Kenya, Pakistan. Well, Pakistan became a second home. They just wouldn't let us go. We were just, I did that. In 1 year, we did 45 shows.
Crazy.
One tour, all of Punjab, 45 shows we did for Punjab College. And I think we made history then,
Unbelievable. So, do you know when Lal Ghagra went to Bollywood in Goodness, did you have anything to do with that, or was it?
Well, because I wrote the lyrics, wrote the lyrics and composition. I had to sign an NOC where you give rights to the Bollywood now. They don't take no rubbish.
Yeah.
They want a song. They need the writer. They need the lyricist. The singer, the arranger. They need everything, and they need all the NOCs to give it. And they give good money. Don't get me wrong. They pay. But they want all them in place first. And if you can provide that, they won't touch it because,
they've got burnt, haven't they? They've got burnt.
Yeah, they lose thousands, bro. When they put it on YouTube, say for example, if they hadn't taken my rights or my signatures, they put it up on their T-Series label or wherever it came out, Z Music's label, and it's got 2 million or 4 million or 50 million views, and I put a strike on it because hey, they haven't asked me, it's my arrangement, my lyric, I'm putting a strike on it. They lose loads of money. they lose the whole film can be affected by the
Yeah.
taking a song, you know. So they do everything by the book. So I had to sign an NOC for not just me, even my brother.
What does NOC mean? Sorry for the audience.
So that basically they can use everything. So when we're not going to put a notice in or anything like that.
Yeah, gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah. So we give that. We gave them that. Not just me, my whole band who was on Undisputed had to give their right, sign this, sign that, do everything. Yeah, there was good money, don't get me wrong, but that song. But for me, what it was, one of my conditions was, look, right, it's my baby, this, and it's been out nearly 20 years now. What's the worst can happen? It's going to, I found out that Akshay's loved that track. And he's wanted it beforehand as well for about 3 or 4 films, but it never worked out. I wanted Houseful 2 or Houseful 3 and a few other films. But for Lal Ghagra, they actually wrote the whole part for this song. They wrote the Lodi part. And it's one of the only songs that's been in a Bollywood film where the actress and the actor dancing to it, and it's in part. Nita Filamadetam Dekhiya, it comes on the end of the film.
Yeah, and all the background.
Yeah, but this actually coming in the film itself, the whole song. And my condition was, look, it's my baby. I've worked hard with it. I want to be the singer. I don't want you changing it to next man. And, I'll sing it and then I'll sign it. And then they said, yeah, you'll be the singer. We're going to change the lyrics a little bit on the further thingy, but you'll be the singer. The chorus is yours. Whatever you've sang, that'll be yours. And that's how it worked. And it did well. It took it to a different dimension. But I still say, you see, Lal Ghagra was already a big song.
Absolutely, yeah.
Around the world. Already, everybody knew it. And if anything, people were getting angry with it. Oh, why?
Yeah, this is not the same.
Why have Bollywood taken this Punjabi track for? Why the cop? It had a bit of a reverse effect on them.
Yeah. That happens even now.
It happens now, yeah. But for me, from my point of view, it was harmless because it may be taken into another territory.
Absolutely, yeah.
It just, and plus, for me, it was a great honor, Dad, to see a song being played on big screen and Akshay and Kareena dancing to it.
Exactly. It's
like a tick in it.
Yeah.
It's like a tick on the box.
Yeah, we've been watching Akshay Kumar since the 90s, isn't it? Like Mora and all that.
Yeah, it's like, he'll take it to me dad and say, Daddy, dekhya?
Fantastic, bro. Bro, it's your hour's done. So I'm gonna respect that. So thank you so much. It's absolute privilege chatting with you. And it's been a good laugh, to be fair.
Well, thank you very much. I'm sorry I've been busy here, this and that. But no, it's been a pleasure. Really enjoyed it. And respect to you as well. Artist who promotes other artists. Yeah. And you know what? Hats off to you as well, Raj. You're a great, amazing singer as well, bro. And I wish you all the best.
Oh, thank you so much, bro. And, we do for the love of music and constantly learning.
I love it, and we need people like you. We need people like you who to push. There's a very, very few people in this industry who get a dil safa, who push everybody on a same. You know what I mean? Because some of these, like if they're not so popular, or if they haven't got a million views, even the radio stations don't push them. You know what I mean? And it's quite sad.
I think that's an off-air conversation.
Yeah, no, definitely. And it makes me angry sometimes, Raj. Honestly, it really does. Because I know great singers who release tracks and because they don't fit in their criteria of a certain...
I'll tell you a little story before we go. Audience can hear this. So I went to this massive radio station and we had a song called, a cricket song called Hame India. Right, it was like a Bollywood style song, but it was a rock song, like heavy, like Nickelback power chords on there. We had a band at that time. We took it, and we were at this big radio station. Everyone knows who I'm talking about, but I'm not going to say the name. Big radio station, and they had the guys running it, and we were on that thing just promoting a track. So it was like a conference thing where they call you in to showcase your music, show the music. You know what they said to me? It says, "Oh, what's British about this?"
Yeah,
and I says, "Well, it's a rock track. Rock is Beatles, and some of the biggest rock bands come from thingy. What they thought was British music was if we were rapping and doing grime and things like that was in their head. That's all they wanted.
Yeah. A lot of the radio stations become ageist of bands, and favorite the favorites. You know, it's you know it's but respect going out to yourself. Fucking artist, and you know, there's a couple of people that do that in the industry. Dick is a really good guy, and yourselves, and a lot of people. So hats off to you guys, man.
If you're ever down Birmingham, make sure you come down and we'll have some rugby stuff. I'm going to stop the podcast and then we'll carry on the conversation afterwards. So, guys, that was Herbie Sahara. What a privilege it was. It's probably one of my. I think I say this about every artist, but all the artists get better and better and better. And so, guys, please leave a comment, leave a review. Leave if it's positive, leave it for Herbie. जो कुछ माड़ा कहना मैनू कह लो नहीं कोई गल नहीं कोई बात नहीं
जल्दी खुल के गल्ला करो
anyway
negative when we used to be, you know, back in the day times, that Punjab 2000 they're bored they gala sunniya sun liya.
Oh gosh, don't this was supposed to end
the worst thing about it all used to be the industry people.
Gosh, you know, like at that time I remember I released my first song in 2008. And man, I felt really disheartened because the song did really well, but you know, you get really disheartened.
All it was the jealous industry people that couldn't get what you were doing, you know.
Yeah. Anyway, guys, so make sure you leave a review. Make sure you comment, and if you've seen this on a clip, one of Herbie's clip, make sure you share, like, comment, and check out Herbie. Herbie, before we go, where can we catch you on your socials?
Also, Sahara Music UK, Instagram, Snapchat, Sahara Music UK, and Baki the Sahara Music. It's all Sahara Music UK on all the socials, bro.
And thank you so much once again. So keep listening until we meet again. Thank you.